Hey everyone, it's Jezza here, and time for another little video. So we'll talk about a couple of things in this video. Some channel updates and like life updates and personal stuff. And we'll also talk about the trailer for Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, which I did a video for, but it wasn't a good video. So I'm correcting it now. I will talk about the personal stuff first and the channel stuff, and then I will talk about Disclosure Day. I will put a time marker here for the movie stuff, so if you want to skip to that. So we'll talk about some of this stuff. 2 videos ago, on my Adventures with Jezza channel, I did a little video of Disclosure Day trailer, and I was in a bit of a mood. I was, and you can see that's a little glimpse into how I can get moody sometimes, like we all can. But in this instance, I captured it on camera. I said some things like, I was talking about this. Yeah, there's a couple of things. Like I talked about Disclosure Day, and I was very cryptic, and was like, oh, there's like bigger implications and disclosures really happening and stuff. And I have this cool worldview about, very open-minded about aliens and contact, and it's really fun stuff. But I was very cryptic and I didn't explain myself. I just sort of said, oh, prepare yourself for your worldview to be changed, which, that's a good sentence, but it's also not enough. So, I just, this is like, it's funny stuff, because this is like my first YouTube apology, and it's classic. I'm like, my friend Josef is making fun of me for doing YouTuber stuff. We're making some thumbnail ideas that we see on YouTube, and we're mocking them a bit. And I showed my brother Ben, and so this video is actually dedicated to Ben and Josef. We're just making fun of the YouTuber stuff, and I'm being even more of a YouTuber by having to apologize and correct a previous video. I have made other videos which were like, I didn't agree with when I later checked them out. I was like, why did I say that? In one video I called Ridley Scott a hack. Like, why do I say these things, I think when in that instance I was trying to say he's fantastic, he's a genius, but his later movies are not very good. That's what I should have said. I actually do muddle up my words and stumble upon them and say things that they're misinterpreted, or I don't word them correctly. Yeah, wording, like syntax and wording, I stuff up a bit, and it gets me into trouble. But that's, it's one of the reasons I make my YouTube videos, just to help me with my speech a little bit. I've made a bit of progress, but not so much. So where was I? Yeah, the YouTube apology, making fun of the thumbnails with Josef, YouTuber life, so dumb. So to reiterate, I was moody in that video, and it had the blues. And I'll leave it up. I'm okay. I'm not really embarrassed. It's whatever. I don't like disavow myself. It's just funny, really. Yeah, so I said a couple of things in that video, like I was not doing good, that Australia was not doing well. I was taking a vow of silence in the coming days, and then I was being cryptic about contact. So to address some of these things, Yes, I was in a mood. Sometimes it happens. Like I said before, it happens to all of us. Like as humans. The vow of silence and my spiritual beliefs. Yeah, I am like spiritual. I had a spiritual awakening somewhat recently in the last few years. Um, and I'm very like open minded to all that stuff. I Yeah, to just of some basics, like I believe in uh, the connection of all points in space and time. I believe in consciousness as a field, things like that. I am interested in things like reincarnation and star seeds. Uh, I'm also interested in the divine masculine and feminine stuff. Yeah, and all that, some really cool stuff. So I have out there beliefs, but it's really cool to me, and it's my worldview, and I'm allowed to think what I want, and but I should express that instead of just say, "Oh, because of my spiritual beliefs, I'm taking a vow of silence." The vow of silence specifically, yeah, I do. I actually do want to do it at some point, a vow of silence, but not to be like an edgy, angsty, almost like teenager esque thing. It's more like I just want to listen a bit more and like maybe like listen to music, listen to what other people have to say, think, like not speak and be able to think and get my thoughts better. Kind of like what I was talking about, my muddled up speech. Just to work on that a bit better, like take a reset just by not speaking for a bit. That is what I'm trying to get across with my spiritual belief and how I want to take a vow of silence. I am somewhat serious, or well, quite serious about it. Uh, but me announcing it, just like, oh, I'm taking it, it was just like, was a bit silly. Uh, so the whole vow of silencing, I'll do in an appropriate time when I want to. Oh, but conversely, also want to add, because I was in that mood and I wanted to take a vow of silence. Conversely, you shouldn't bottle up and get all upset and just ruminate. You should express yourself to like a trusted one, a loved one, or something. And I think I was doing that a little bit. So, but don't do that. That's like unhealthy mentally. Yeah. I was upset by the Bondi shooting that happened. I felt a lot of anger, and like just bad thoughts. Like just not good. And I've thankfully come out of that. Not looking at the socials, not looking at news. Um, the anger's subsiding. Uh, I'm pretty chill. It's As I film this, it's just a couple of days after Christmas, and we had a great time where I am with my family. It was awesome. Yeah. So, like I said, we talked about a few things like how I was moody in that video, how I was cryptic, and we'll get into that in the trailer breakdown. We'll talk about the some actual. I'll express myself and instead of just being cryptic, and the muddled up speech we addressed. Just a few things that we addressed. Yeah, so that's my YouTube apology for now. Yeah, that's my first and only one. I hope that's yeah. So my friend Joseph and I were making fun of YouTubers. I will put in the images that we did. It's really funny. I was inspired by Benny Johnson thumbnails. I reckon I'm good at the thumbnail game. I could really get the views, but I don't really do that because I hate when they all do the soy face, like oh. Yeah. So just to finish off the personal stuff, I'm all good. I'm all good. So thank you, my viewers and new viewers. I'm all chill. I hope you're chill too and had a good Christmas and have a good New Year's. So I want to get into Disclosure Day. Let's go into the breakdown of Disclosure Day. So I'm doing it kind of off of memory. I could bring up the footage, but I just wanted. There's some notes that I took in my head that I want to express with you. So, yeah, I know about ufology, and I am like spiritual, and those intersect. I often do this to my friends. Spirituality, ufology, they intersect. The paranormal, the metaphysics, it all intersects. So I know a bit of secret stuff that I can tell you about Steven Spielberg and his possible motives for making these movies. But we'll also break down the more mundane stuff and treat it just as like how it would be, like it's going to be a normal movie. So first I want to start off with Emily Blunt. I love Emily Blunt. She's beautiful. So beautiful to look at, and she's a great actress. I like her in Edge of Tomorrow, Sicario, some of those. I even saw her in a Snow White film. She's a fantastic actress, and I'm really excited to see her performance in this. It was spooky and scary to see her, all those noises coming out on the broadcast there, and everyone's sitting back and watching it across the world. Even the nuns wearing their crosses, they're going to have religious themes. That's cool. They all witnessed it. And it was like I said in my previous video that she was speaking like alien grey. Or that's what I was thinking to Joseph. I was telling Joseph, like, is she speaking like... that's because in ufology, that kind of clicking noise is associated with the typical alien grey. I say typical. People, well, it's not typical. They're not real. In my worldview, they are very real and they walk amongst us. And it's common parlance, it's common knowledge. The alien greys, man, we all know about the alien greys. There's a few different types of greys, but and so they're known for doing this clicking noises. I've actually heard recordings of people leaving their microphones on to hear if they have sleep apnea, and they pick up essentially an abduction or an interaction event where they hear the clicking coming in. And in this recording I heard the woman's like, "What are you doing?" And there's a clicking, and then the audio stops, and she has no memory of it, but she heard the recording. So I've heard a few recordings like that of the clicking. It's also associated with the mantis beings. Yeah, there are different races in ufology. We talk about them. The mantis beings. I know someone close to me who has an interaction with them. Who had an interaction with them. In his case, they were positive entities, and healed him when he was a child. So this is like out there for maybe some of my viewers. I talk about this like it's matter of fact because it is to me. It has been proven. I love this stuff about contact and aliens and the Nordics, the tall greys, the tall. Well, there is tall greys and there's tall whites. The greys, the Galactic Federation of Light. There's all these crazy things, and some of it is crazy, but some of it is very intriguing and very interesting. Some of these contacts, some of the footage I've seen, it's online, just in little YouTube clips, and Jaya Sanctuary, Stephen Greer. You watch these clips and you're like, well, something is going on. They're making contact. I've been actually been out on some of these meditations, CE5s we call them, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, human-initiated contact. I've done it and I've seen it, man. I really have. People sort of dismiss me, oh, it's just Jezza being sort of his crazy UFO self, but it happened. It happened. Maybe I can't express it with the right emotion and get people to believe me what I saw. I've seen UFOs many times in my life, maybe half a dozen times. Yeah, they're quite active around me and my friend Joseph, who I mentioned. He doesn't like to admit it, but we've seen them together. We have. Yeah, so I interrupt myself, and that's okay. That's just how my mind works and how I think. But I was essentially just talking about how I see it as a matter of that. I sort of talk as it's matter of fact. So try and accommodate me with that, and I will try and make it palatable to the UFO normies. And it's totally cool if you're a UFO normie. It's all good. And we'll talk about the more mundane stuff as well, so it's all chill. So where were we at? We were at the everyone witnessing, talking about, she was talking and it sounded like the Greys. I saw another video on YouTube talking about how she was tapping into a higher dimension or a different dimension, and the universal light language in our spiritual communities we call it light language. Maybe you jot down scribbles when you just wake up or you dream, or maybe your child writes something and it looks like scribbles, but actually it's a download. It's light language. Some people speak it. There's some people on YouTube, on Facebook, that speak light language. It's really cool stuff. You have to be open-minded. Some of it is nonsense, though. Some of it is people with mental problems, delusions of grandeur, thinking they're special. You have to be very careful of that stuff. I'm actually going to do an expose on how I've been tricked by some of these people. Another term we use for this light language would be, Emily Blunt's character could be connecting to the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are every event that has ever transpired in the universe is recorded in this spiritual realm, this spiritual recording. And we can all access it through meditation. And, games like Assassin's Creed even explore genetic memory. And we're sort of trying to prove that. We're trying to work out if we have this hive mind hundredth monkey effect, where the monkeys on this island learn how to use tools, and 100 kilometers away on this other island, completely separated by ocean, the monkeys start using the same tools and in the same way. They're separated by such distance, but morphogenically, that's the term. That's the field. They pick it up at the same time. So that's a little bit of information about like the Akashic Records, light language. This is I'm trying to be a translator for some normies and stuff to how your crazy friend might sound and what they're talking about. So Emily Blunt talking in that language, and then we do see a lot of imagery with the elk and also the cardinal bird. It's good to see nature in a UFO film. It is thought that aliens and the other races out there love Earth. They might not be so keen on humans, but they adore the beautiful, diverse Earth, and very curious about it. And many sci-fi movies and shows have explored that theme as well. They want to check out Earth. It's cool, but then they get tangled up with us humans. I saw in the trailer that there was also seemed to be some sort of psychotronic mind consciousness devices where people would put them on and their eyes would change. And at the same time, we saw, what's that actor's name? He was in it. He was wearing the thing, and he claps his hand, and then someone maybe across the earth, maybe somewhere different, also claps their hand. Sort of like a controlling technology that evokes for me images of alien tech, and also dark black operations secret psychotronic tech. That's what it evokes in me. Seeing that stuff. The also that reporter dude. I'm not familiar with the actor, but the guy who shows up at the very first part of the trailer, who has the whatever it is, the device or whatever. He's in saying, I want to share it with the world at the same time. What is that device? And like later in the trailer, we see Emily Blunt holding it. They're all standing in the room. It's emitting a light. What are they doing? Is there some other creature in there? Is it got to do something with the little girl that was in the trailer? There is a little girl. That's what the animals are attracted to. The elk, the deer, and the cardinal bird. Now, the cardinal bird, I didn't know the symbology or the reasoning for it. I asked one of my spiritual friends, Megan, and she told me that it means something. I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of spiritual change and new beginnings. That's what the cardinal represents, and that could, uh, that could be correct in the context of this film. It could be about, disclosure to the world about such matters would be a watershed moment. It would be the most important day in history to find out that we're not alone, and to compound that they've been amongst us since the beginning, and that we ourselves are alien in some ways. Like panspermia, the Anunnaki being seeded by other races, and all that fun stuff, ancient alien stuff. In the trailer, they're being chased by some black cars, and it reminded me of Steven Spielberg's other film, E.T. With I reckon the shadowy government in that was depicted in E.T. was so good. The Men in Black sort of situation, and the NSA or the CIA or whoever comes in for the retrieval of UFOs and alien tech and aliens. They do it so well, and ET, they don't even sometimes they don't even show the faces or the heads of the authority figures. They're just this imposing figure to young Elliot, and that's how they are really. They may as well not have a face. Those agents. It's also mysterious and scary and spooky, and I am reminded of that when I see those black cars chasing Emily Blunt and that reporter dude. Yeah, I hope they explore the themes of shadowy governmental operations and bureaus trying to shut down whatever they're trying to disclose. Yeah, Steven Spielberg has done quite a few UFO movies, hasn't he? And, I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. People say it's right up my alley, but I don't like it so much. I prefer E.T., and I'm really excited. He also didn't he do? Yeah, he did War of the Worlds, which is sort of alien stuff going on. Yeah, of course. So, uh, he likes his stuff. In my previous video, I mentioned that we suspect Steven Spielberg has been briefed. What I meant by that, I don't have much info on that, but what I can say is, when I say we, us in the ufology circles, and even specifically more my ones that I'm just in locally, we believe that Steven Spielberg, like some other directors, Kubrick and stuff, have been briefed. Briefed is a common term in our parlance for they have sat down with agency members, the alphabet agencies of different countries, but we're talking about Americans here. So in America, and they have been briefed on the situation regarding contact with humanity, other races. There's a term called predictive programming, where you show events in film and TV to later disclose the reality of that. I totally believe they do that. Yeah, so either way you cut it, Steven Spielberg is very interested in this subject. I really like his movies, and I want to see what he's going to do in this movie. Disclosure Day. Many in my community, well, we're actually called the Disclosure Community, the Disclosure Group, We want disclosure. This is like the perfect movie for us. But actually, I've been hearing a bit of the opposite. They've been saying, well, this is going to be like soft disclosure, which is another term, which is like partial drip disclosure. And it's like controlled governmental disclosure, predictive programming, like I mentioned. So I've heard some negative feedback from my disclosure friends. But I am interested, so I like to talk about all the conspiracy stuff. But just as a film itself, Emily Blunt is a good actor. Steven Spielberg is a terrific, one of the, if not the best director um, the themes and the imagery of the aliens, the language that she spoke, that scared everyone and sort of spooked everyone who I watched it with, and we all talked about how that was spooky. I showed it to my dad. Shout out to my dad. He's been in some of my. I've mentioned him in some of my other videos. He's doing good. Yeah. Um, yeah. So some really cool things to be excited for in this movie. Yeah. So just after watching the trailer again, I just watched it for a second. There's only a couple more things. This is a long video, so I'll just end it on. Yeah, the real life implications in the movie. They say the guy's like, this belongs to 7 billion people, and then there's that dude who's like, people are starving for the truth, and then there's that girl who's like, if you found out that we weren't alone, would it frighten you? These are all important questions and sentences and thoughts. I want to see them tackled in the film, and I can have my fun with my conspiratorial and open-minded worldview, but I can also accept this as a mundane movie, but tackling some cool themes. That's what I really wanted to say the first video, and now I've done this, my first YouTube apology video. So I'll just end it on, I addressed some things that I wanted to, and it's all cool. It's all really fun. It's just like funny, really. And I think just in the future, if I'm in a mood, I just won't really record. I think that's probably the best thing to do. And I want to be authentic and me, but I don't want to bring people down or be cryptic or whatever. And we looked at the film, and I didn't show you the trailer, but I just talked about it, and that's all cool. That's what I want to talk about. So thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all my viewers and new viewers. And I'll see you out in the stars. Peace.